keeps asking me favorite ZEISS lenses. One of these lenses is a 50 millimeter, and it's a Nikkor mount. Now, I said specifically 50 millimeters. A better lens than this is the Voigtlander 58. That is 58, this is 50. Really that much of a difference? Not really. Yes, definitely recommend the Voigtlander 58 over this one. However, been asked specifically, what's your favorite 50 millimeter? Well, I own them all, and this is unquestionably it. It is the ZEISS Planar f1.4. Right here, got a couple of them. Ultimately, it's not that expensive to use. I think you can get them for like $450 or so used off of eBay Japan. These are CPU contact lenses. These are ZF2, so they are like AIP Nikkor lenses, so you can use them in aperture priority and shutter priority. Yeah, right here is almost $6,000 worth of ZEISS lenses. Another exquisite beauty, the absolute favorite, 85 millimeter. This is the Carl Zeiss Planar f1.4. They're likely not going to make this anymore. They're probably going to replace it with a Milvus. Big stupid mistake. This lens is absolutely exquisite. Some people complain, well, that lens has got a bit too much chromatic aberration and high contrast lighting. It does, but you can eliminate that out, and that chromatic aberration is actually what a lens is correctly rendering as depth or dimensionality. Micro contrast on this is incredible. The rendition, the color saturation, the bandwidth, the quality of construction, incredible. You can usually grab these for like $850 or so used out of eBay Japan. Just a gigantic black hole of pure glass, low element count, perfection, made in Japan. Exquisite, dreamy, beautiful. Where's my, here we go. People have asked me, they said, well, what's the issue that you have with the macro planar, it's macro lens, the 100mm f2 Carl Zeiss? Here's the problem, but it's not a problem. If you are not a hardcore manual focus user, you see the throw on this? The throw from infinity to closest on this is enormous. So if you're not very skilled at manual focus, this one will actually rub your fur the wrong way. Absolutely exquisite. Is it better than the Tacchina 100mm? Oh yes, baby, it is, but it also costs a fortune more than the Tacchina, and it is also a manual focus lens. And unless you got some pretty good mad skills at manual focus, this lens will pet your fur the wrong way. It will not make you a happy camper. Not make you a happy camper, you know, scrolling this lens in and out, and it's also extremely heavy. I don't know, a third most best lens here. I got a bunch of ZEISS lenses, but these are definitely my top 5. Extremely expensive lens. This is the ZEISS Distagon 35mm f1.4. Insanely expensive at nearly $2,000. Insanely heavy. Absolutely exquisite. However, the 35mm is the best lens that I own, period. Flat out, bar none, by anybody ever, period. When I get to that one, what are the differences? Well, f2, f1.4. Nailing the depth of field on this one, even if you do have some good manual focus skills, is not so easy. It is insanely heavy. It is a ZF2. So is this. This is also available in a ZF version. This is a car, and they don't make this anymore. This is the best lens I've ever owned, period, at any point in time, flat out, bar none. It's just a tits. It's a bucket full of awesome. It's silk, sex, and sugar. It's a ZEISS Distagon 35mm f2, the absolute best lens that I own, period, flat out, bar none. I own a couple of them, and even 2 of them to me is not enough. However, one's more than enough. These are built to last a lifetime. This is the closest thing to perfection that I own. Resolution, color, bandwidth, pseudo macro ability. I mean, you're able to get right in, right close there. People think you're using a true macro lens. Oh my god, the phase, the gain, the actual bandwidth of this lens, the quality of construction, there is nothing else like it. And ZEISS is a gigantic pile of idiots for not making this lens anymore. They just are. There are still plenty of copies of this lens available used on eBay. You can find one cheap enough. I would highly recommend you buying it. I'm probably going to take tomorrow off, so tomorrow is my birthday. I might not make any videos tomorrow. I need a break, right? I make videos every day, right? So these are my absolute top favorite ZEISS lenses. Of the 5 here, which can I say are really kind of absolute must-haves? And they are these 3, the 50mm f1.4, the 85mm f1.4, and the Distagon 35mm f2. So these 3 lenses. These are... It's like if I could only own 3 lenses to throw on one of my Nikon cameras, it would probably be these 3 because, you know, you could... Well, they're not autofocus. They're... You know, I could rule everything with these lenses, and, you know, they're just nothing but pure perfection, designed to last more than a lifetime. And they're not cheap either. For what they are, actually, they are relatively cheap. When you buy perfection like this, at this level of fit and function and perfection and image rendition, these are actually ultimately underpriced lenses. And especially the 85mm 1.4. The 85mm 1.4 planar, oh my god. I got a couple of these. Oh my god. Idiots that buy this lens or test it, they're like, I don't like the chromatic aberration it's got. It's high contrast. I said, you didn't notice the fact that this lens craps out magic, right? The only thing you could do is like point out the chromatic aberration. Really? Really? All really, really high quality, super precise, low element count lenses like this usually do have high contrast longitudinal chromatic aberration. They do. Actual chromatic aberration. They just do. Dial it out in Lightroom. There is no perfect lens. All lens design is a trade-off, okay? You can make another 85mm with twice as many elements and correct out that chromatic aberration, but the images look flat and dull and unsaturated, and they have bad micro contrast. This lens, if you were to shoot this and convert it to black and white, it'd make your eyeballs pop out and make you claw your crotch off. The images are so good. All of these lenses are tougher than woodpecker lips, and they'll make you happier than a worm in a pile of poo. Happier than a pervert in a porn shop. And that is that. Bye.